Okay, hello.
Hello again.
This is we're gonna talk about the 6 week module. This is assessment, and it's kind of tricky because I'm trying really hard to understand what do I need to assess during the process and how should I do it. Because in my mind, like what is really important is actually making sure that everything moving forward and the kids finish what I was asking them to do.
Yeah. So Tracy and I've been having a long conversation about the assessments and the role of assessments in education, especially in arts education. And in that conversation, I realized that maybe you need to take some time to really understand what the role of assessing is and what they are. So far, I've seen you very focused on, like you say, helping the kids move through the process and accomplish a product. And I think it would be very helpful in your teaching practice if you start understanding, how to use a formative assessment process to inform what kind of lesson you need to give and adjust your teaching to based on what information you gain from a formative assessment. That will make you into a more proficient teacher, and it will allow you to help them accomplish their tasks in ways that are more revealing of the process that each kid is in. Or so excuse my English, sometimes it's not the proper English, but you know what I mean. So I think that if anything, I would recommend that you focus some attention in learning and also in finding out what kind of assessing processes are appropriate for someone who wants to still promote creativity, and a teacher who doesn't want to be boxing children in. So there, what approach to assessing is valuable to you, so that those processes don't detract you from creativity, which is what you want to promote. So it's a study that
Yeah,
you
because
need to do.
I personally feel that assessment is kind of tricky because you're like generalizing all your student. Like, you put this student into the boxes of like, oh, they're ready to go, or like this student is like, oh, they're just like a troublemaker. They're like slowing down the process and stuff. And I'm trying hard not to do that because I feel like I want everyone to go into the goal at the same time. But
Yeah, so that's where it's important you understand the role of assessing in your teaching. It's not about putting kids in boxes. It's about understanding where they're at as you do formative assessing, and what they have learned once you do summative assessments. So what could put them in is the kind of assessment you use or how you formulate your assessment. But you can design your assessments in a way that allow you to see everybody as individual, with the goal of taking everybody to a similar goal, or a similar outcome, product. So yeah, it's a science. And I would recommend you don't get scared away or put assessing in a box of boxing. But you just learn the tools, and that will help you a lot in knowing what you need to teach and what you can expect from the kids. Because if you don't know where they're at and what they already know, you don't have enough tools to ask them what you need of them. You can't ask someone to understand the role of a protagonist in a story if you don't know if that child knows what a protagonist is.
okay.
Or you can't expect that a child can mix different hues of orange if you don't know if that child already knows how to make orange. So you need to be able to find that information before. So that's my observation for you. And then another thing that I saw happened in this lesson with the puppets, making the puppets, is that sometimes when we need to use technology, like when we're filming or when we're photographing, sometimes the technology tends to take away our attention from the students. And so I think that was a challenging part for you, just to know when you needed to not have the camera involved in the session, when your students maybe were getting distracted by it, and when to make the call of saying, all right, I need to either change the way I'm using this technology or just take the camera out and focus on the students. Because to me, that's the most important thing, is that we can just give our full attention to the people, and the technology, it needs to adjust to our needs. So those are two things to work on.
Yeah. Thank you.
But she's
Now
awesome.
this is a hard time.
It's all right. You're
Thank-
doing great,
Thank
Dorothea.
you.